Welcome, friends, to Say No to Lashon Hara. This is an initiative that we started to merit a refuah shelemah for Chana Bat Sima Feiga, where every day we'll be reading from the Chafetz Chaim, a daily companion, otherwise known as the Blue Book from Art Scroll, which was arranged for daily study by the Manchester Rosh Yeshiva Rabbi Yehuda Zev Segal, and is known to have provided incredible sigulot for refuah shelemah, for shidduchim, for parnasah, for all sorts of problems, to learn each day, one of the days on the calendar that the Rosh Yeshiva set out. The book, of course, is based on the writings of the Chafetz Chaim, Rav Yisrael Meir Kagan, who wrote his magnum opus, the Chafetz Chaim, to express and communicate to a generation how important the laws of Lashon Hara were. And the title Chafetz Chaim is based on the pasuk. The pasuk says, "Mi ha'ishe Chafetz Chaim," who is a person who desires life. Ohev yamim lirotov, he loves his days. He wants to see good in his life. What should he do? Nitzor lishonecha mera. Hold your tongue back from speaking evil about someone else. Now that idea that Lashon Hara directly relates to a deteriorated quality of life, and that protecting your tongue from speaking Lashon Hara brings life, brings blessing, is something which is at the core of what we're going to be studying together. So we start on day one. The source of exile. The Chafetz Chaim starts by expressing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose the Jewish people for a very specific mission. He chose us to be able to do His mitzvot, to fulfill His commandments, to live in Eretz Yisrael, to live in the temple, to bring the sacrifices and to become close to Him. That's the idea. Through that process, we earn reward and goodness and bracha in this world and in the next. However, when God gives a gift, He gives it very differently than a human being does. When a human being gives a gift, if he looks at you and sees that you don't appreciate that gift or that you don't value it, he's liable to take it back and say, you know what, I'd rather give it to someone else who does. But when God gives a gift, He gives it with all of His heart, so to speak. And He doesn't want to take it back. So when the Jewish people stopped listening to God and didn't value the Torah that they'd been given, or Eretz Yisrael, God didn't take it back from the Jews. Rather, He sent Nevi'im, He sent prophets to us to tell us and exhort us to come back to Teshuvah. And the prophets came and the prophets went, but the Jewish people, unfortunately, did not learn their lesson. And when prophecy finally ended, and the Beit HaMikdash was rebuilt in the second Beit HaMikdash, we were back in our land, we were given a second chance. But what did we do with that second chance? Slowly but surely we allowed sinat chinam, baseless hatred, and Lashon Hara to creep into our hearts and our mouths. And through that terrible problem of lack of achdut, of unity, and Lashon Hara, we were again facing the fact that the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed and that we were driven into exile. It's important to note, the Chafetz Chaim explains, that for 2,000 years, every single Jewish person has been praying, let us, our eyes see the return to Zion and to Yerushalayim. We say in the Amidah 3 times a day. In Birkat HaMazon, we say, V'tivnei Yerushalayim, right? Hashem, please rebuild Jerusalem. All these things. We keep praying for Jerusalem and the Beit HaMikdash, and yet God has not answered 2,000 years of prayers. What's going on? And the Chafetz Chaim says it has to be that the reason that we've not yet been redeemed is not that they sinned such a great sin back then that God decreed 2,000 years of exile, but rather God says, I'm ready at any time. You're ready, I'm ready. I'm prepared to sit at the table and to bring you back, but on one condition, that whatever was there that destroyed the temple is no longer with you today. So if we can stop our Lashon Hara and our sinat chinam, immediately HaKadosh Baruch Hu would bring the Jewish people back to the Beit HaMikdash HaShlishi with the coming of Mashiach b'mehera v'yamenu. Amen.